the random and totally horrifying murder of 17-year-old Kaytlin Root at the hands of two truly dark teenagers. A man was out on a Sunday morning jog when he stumbled upon something that made this very typical morning anything but. What he had run by and what he had seen was the body of a stripped and murdered girl. She was strangled, she was stabbed, and she had her throat cut. In doing this forensic sweep of her phone, they were able to see she was talking to somebody named Amanda, and that she was in a serious relationship with an 18-year-old guy named Sebastian. Now from there, the two were separated and they were questioned. He tells this cop, like, listen, I know what happened. It's just kind of hard to explain. He then tells the cop that he is a sociopath, that he is not right in the head, that Amanda is the only person who truly sees him for his real, deep, horrifying self. Now, speaking of them and speaking of Kaytlin, the officer asks him, like, how he and Amanda came to be with Kaytlin that night, and he said he does not remember. He says he just remembers that the three of them were together and that they were walking through a park together, and that all of a sudden he heard this loud smack, and the next thing he knew, Kaytlin was on the ground, and that the next image he had was him and Amanda getting up off the ground, and they were both covered in blood. And they were covered in blood because, according to him, he held Kaytlin down while Amanda stabbed her to death. But they go back and forth quite a bit on who was the person responsible for the physical act of the murder. She says Sebastian took the knife and stabbed Kaytlin in the chest. So in hearing this story, the police are like, that's a little bit fantastic. It's a little bit crazy that none of this was committed by you, and we know what Sebastian's saying in the other room. And so they ask her, like, is it possible that you could have stabbed her at least one time and just don't remember it? And she did say that yes, that was possible. Now, they're asking her this because they believe that she's responsible for stabbing Kaytlin, right? Both because of the stories from her, the stories from Sebastian, and also some physical evidence that they've already recovered. And this physical evidence, part of it was gloves. And they asked her about this, a pair of purple gloves that she wore when she took part in the murder of Kaytlin Root. Those gloves were covered in blood when they were recovered from the trash. Do you believe that either Amanda or Sebastian should ever be given parole considering the crime they committed? And two, out of the two of them, who do you believe was the leader, the mastermind in the murder of Kaytlin Root? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. I am curious to hear what you think here.